Hello, hello. I'm trying to give this a shot. I know y'all can't. Um, I'm in with the bad camera. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I got something that is supremely disturbed me this afternoon. And I'm probably on the late show, so some of y'all probably are probably more privy to this information than I am. Um, but it really rocked my boat today when I saw this article by the New York Times, and I'm not hating or anything. Okay, let's get that right. But I saw an article in the New York Times, and this article, I, I don't know how to even deal with it right now. It's about well, the title of it was House unanimously passed a $67 million gay reparation tax bill. Okay, now I'm not hating at all. Okay, my thing is, how do we feel about that as ADOS and whatever you call it, calling ourselves these days, colored people, brown people? What in the heck are we, feeling with this? Because I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling some kind of way. Now, and the reason why I'm feeling some kind of way is because nobody's the only person I really heard talk about it somewhat in depth was Marianne Williamson. And that's the only reason I'm donating to her campaign is because at least she's the only candidate that has allowed it to um, you know, come out of her mouth and stay there. I don't hear Cory Booker doing it. I don't hear what's the other chick's name? Kamala Harris. So come on, y'all. What is this? This is the first time I've tried this. I see it must be going a little bit okay because I see Yanni out here. But this is something that I just really wanted to come on here because I need to know what the family is thinking about this. And what is it going to me at this point? The biggest fear point we got is marching against fear. I think that's the biggest problem as black folk that we have. I mean, we can't do nothing. We're stagnant. It's almost as if we are so afraid to do anything that we do nothing. And this right here, yeah, I know they do anything rash, but what I'm saying is we're not doing enough. Um, in order for HR 40 to have sat on that desk at Conyers for 30 years and nobody kept it going, just go to show you how complacent we are as people. Okay, because most black people are like this. As long as they getting paid, as long as they getting their palms greased, they really don't have time for nobody else. So the rejuvenation of this whole reparation thing, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, got new life with Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. That's what gave it a little bit more life, and I think it's the um, Generation Xers. I think, and these millennials that have put a little bit more, um, spice into this. But uh, uh, what I'm seeing is there's no participation. What does Yanni say? Yanni said it's not about hating; it's wrong before us. But check it from those of us that study narcissism. Love ADOS. Is a white single favorite. Surprise, right? And Narcs takes a by. Yeah, by any emotion. Yeah, I agree. You know, I'm I'm just really I'm freaked out about this. I guess I'm on the late show because when I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, collectively, what is it going to take because we can get on the same page about, to me, about things that really don't matter. Like saying we all putting gold in our mouth, or we all wearing white tees. Talking like Urban Outfitters, or if we all decide we got to have a what Dolce Gabbana or some Birkin bag, whatever it is, the things that we unify on, they there, but it's just nothing of substance. So I'm saying, what is it going to take? What kind of act is it going to take for all of us to say, either for us to take our magic back? Because I think that's the only thing we can do, basically. Um, that's it. There's no way in the world, if this reparation is allowed, and it is because it just got passed. Matter of fact, what did the article say? The article says this. Check this out. Okay, because they don't sense me just um running through here, real janky. Um, okay, on Wednesday, the Democratic-controlled U.S. House of Representatives unanimously passed a controversial gay reparations bill that will entitle same-sex couples to millions of dollars in tax refunds for their marriages, which were not previously recognized under the federal tax law. Okay? In passing the Pride Act, Democrats are honoring our diversity and providing long overdue justice to countless same-sex couples across the country who have been denied critical tax refunds because of who they are and who they love. Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said proudly. Um, Now, according to CNN, calling for the Senate to quickly pass and reaffirm both the bill that is incredibly controversial, and its incredibly controversial message. Where, as previously reported, presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren recently came out in support of this type of policy, later introducing a similar bill in the Senate, the Refund Equality Act. The federal government forced legally married same-sex couples in Massachusetts to file as individuals and pay more in taxes for almost a decade, Warren said of her bill at the time. We need to call out that discrimination and make it right. Congress should pass the Refund Equality Act immediately. As for this life cycle report, it's not yet clear whether Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell will allow the bill to be put to a vote, or whether President Donald Trump, who is something of a centrist on LGBT issues, will sign the veto the bill. Needless to say, this joke of a bill uh, is not without its opponents, even within the LGBT community itself. In a June editorial from the Washington Times, Tammy Bruce, a Fox News contributor and gay conservative, wrote that the gay reparation bills are purely an exercise in power by the pandering LGBT mafia controlled left. What Mrs. Warren doesn't mention to people is that the IRS already allows everyone to amend the last 3 years of their return. Instead, she wants couples to be able to amend their tax returns for the entire time that they were married in one of the 10 states allowing gay marriages prior to the federal recognition. So I'm assuming that this compensation, all of it is going to be done through a tax if you marry and through your job. So what if you're gay and you're a couple, but y'all both unemployed? So it's got a lot of holes in it. I can see that right out the gate. But the fact of the matter is that it's sitting up here for us to even have a conversation about. Um, and so I don't know what you think. Yanni said, okay, a black study narcissism, no more off balance impact, therefore no more nerd. I agree. No, um, you know, I say this all the time, Yanni, and I know you know this, that in my opinion, having a, a narcissistic, a sociopath around you, and just the whole dichotomy, just the whole structure of it is really what this country runs off of. The black people and the brown people are the scapegoats, and the white people are the ruling class, I should say, um, are the privileged group. Then you have all the little subgroups, but you know who's in the doghouse. So when you have a nation that's set up to gaslight you, to project, onto you, this is why it's real difficult to to fight narcissism, because it's everywhere. It's ingrained in the fabric of the United States of America. Just look at the hypocrisy. If you could even talk about giving gay couples reparations, and you're not even thinking about these black people that have worked so long for free. You've got to somehow that be insult. That, hey, Sean Diallo, how you doing? Thank you for coming out tonight. This is insane. So I don't know if you caught the topic, but it's really interesting how this is working. I don't know. I know Tone and Yvette needs to address this. In my opinion, I think they need to address this, and I think fundamentally they have to come up with something that's going to put a little bit more turn up. Because if we can't find anything to make uh, reparations real, maybe not in this next election coming up, but it has to be growing now. It has to be like a crescendo. This, you can hear footsteps in the dark. You should hear them coming, boom, 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 and they should get louder and louder and louder and louder, because at some point it's like, just like they said, give me liberty or give me death. At some point, you got to feel that way. If everybody around you eating, and everybody around you are being compensated for the neglect and the brutality and the injustice that was done to them, then what's wrong with your group? And your group has to be the issue, because if it's not the first one in line, then what? That's just so narcissistic. For you to act like we don't even see how crazy this is, how hypocritical it is. Um, I mean, it's just like, what? What are we gonna? What? Am I here alone? Because this right there, that's enough right now that was enough to make me go live. I've never done this before. I wanted to see if it was going to pan out, but this is something. I'm gonna start trying to do this. A little bit more often, especially. Okay, Yanni says, let's not respond so predictable. And I agree. I agree. But I think that whatever it is that we usually do, exactly, we have to do something totally different. And that's why I suggest, in my opinion, there's nothing we could do but take the things that are honored by the larger society about us. It's getting to, and then we want to shut it all down. That's the only thing I can think of. They have to all get shut down by us. No one can do it. It's one thing to beg for something, and then it's another thing to just be catatonic. That's the reason why the Native Americans could never be enslaved, because they just went catatonic. They was just like, what? Okay, let me just be stuck here. And I think that if I'm talking about from every aspect, from the richest of the rich to the poorest of the poor, have to, of course we need allies, But I think if we don't have none, because like John Henry Clark said, we don't have no friends. I think that the only way we're going to be able to fight this um societal narcissism is to stop. We got to stop, because I just really can't see my grandkids and my great grandkids serving no other people. Because that's, if we're going to be perpetually miserable and on the total bottom of the caste system, what you think is going to happen? I mean, we're going to be at the total end of the caste system. Then our babies and grandbabies are going to be perpetual slaves. It's going to be just what it is. Nobody's going to be able to do anything about it. Nobody's going to be able, because it's going to be the way of the world. So to me, it seems as if it's any time to make, we, what is our, in other words, everybody got to have a, what do they call it, breaking point, deal breaker, because they done everything to us. Like, obviously we don't have deal breakers. We've had everything pretty much done to us, in terms of, as far as a group of people. And so, like Yanni said, we can't respond predictably. So I think there's not too many options for us other than to take our power back. It's not a lot of options. I don't know. I think that we missed a valuable opportunity, in my opinion, when Colin Kaepernick took the knee, and Donald Trump showed his butt. I think we missed the opportunity. I think we missed the opportunity when the Clippers owner pulled that crap, which I don't think he should have lost his team, by the way, just so I can say that. But I think there's so many opportunities that we've lost to take it back to a time where if you wasn't going to do right by us, we had to do right by ourselves. And I think that's lost in the equation now. Stockholm syndrome. Sean Diallo said that we need to stop being so forgiving about every damn thing, and take our power back. I agree with that 100,000%. We got to take our power back, because what is happening right now, like I said, we the perpetual scapegoat. And I know, Yanni, when we start talking about, just how the narcissism system works and how everybody just slides right into their place, we're the perpetual whipping boys and whipping girls. Shawty said, holiday sports shopping, let's leave it alone quietly. Yes, they are needed energy. Upset blacks, kick and scream. The narc laughs and eats. You know what you said is true. Matter of fact, my friend, shout out, musician friend of mine, I can't think of his name right now. I get so much, y'all know I'll have a blank. What is his name? He's got a song called Boycott Christmas, and it is a banger. It hits so hard. Oh yes, we spent $8 billion on hair alone. Listen here. This is what I'm saying. This is the kind of power. We just gotta shut ourselves down. And if no matter where it's at, if we can't this, if we can't supply and support ourselves like we used to do in the 30s, 40s, right now we're not ready. So we gotta prepare for that. Who are the cultures on the planet? Black people. It's amazing that we grew all that food and grew all that for a whole country, but now we act like we've lost the skill of that. Madam C.J. Walker invented the straightening comb, and we haven't invented a hair product since. Well, we haven't controlled, because I think John Johnson, when he sold that stuff, I remember Afro Sheen, Proline, and all that. When all that stuff, when we constantly sell out, and when we constantly do these things, All we doing is cutting off our nose and spite our face. Now, in terms of what we are owed. I think the economists said that, I mean, they put a high number in trillions that we are owed from all the free labor. And with that being said, I know America doesn't want to pay that debt. And then when I think about all the treaties that they signed with the Native Americans, did they honor it? Nope. Did they honor those treaties that they signed with those people? Heck no. So what in the hell do you think they're going to do to us? They're not going to honor any treaty that they said. And this is what this is, these promises. I hate to sound so pessimistic, but I don't think they wouldn't honor it at all. Because I can just look at their track record. All right? They speak with forked tongue. They are of their fathers, liars. And so when you know that that's the dynamic that you're dealing with, can you really trust it? No. So how are you going to get yourself out of this? To stop being perpetual beggars in the bottom caste of the system is to take your magic back. It is your magic that spins the whole world. But I don't think we love ourselves enough to. I don't think we trust ourselves enough. You know, when we started the Negro Leagues and when we had those, we trusted ourselves enough. But I'm trying to think of what can happen to us that will force us to depend on one another. Willie Lynch said that we will be, whether you believe that that's a mythical thing or not, it's really irrelevant. It becomes, we're going to be perpetually miserable. Is that true? Oh, my goodness. It said we didn't have the grounded information. We now have it via event and tone. We are learning what's happened to us. Power in itself, yeah. Control like months, yeah, yeah. And I agree with that. I, I also know I would like to add to that again that HR 40 stuff was sitting on the desk of the Congress makers. Nobody made a move on it. They just said it. They couldn't get anybody. They couldn't even get the Obama administration to look at it. But it wasn't kept in the forefront. These Generation Xers has done a wonderful job, in my opinion. Have done a wonderful job, a masterful job, and the internet has made this thing blow up. I'm not saying that the people like in Cobra and other entities like the Black Holocaust Society that they haven't been a part of their bylaws to work for reparations for Black people. I'm just saying that it wasn't the right time. But we still was abandoning it because I know there's a lot of people right now that never even heard of Cobra. And they've been out there for 30, 40 years trying to get reparations. Black farmers. So I'm just saying, we have to be thinking about this, you guys. We really, really have to think about what are we going to do in terms going to be content with this bottom cast that we're in, or we going to take it back that if we're going to be there anyway, then we might as well start supporting ourselves again because we lived pretty good when we supported ourselves. We lived better then than we live in now. We had tails, we had things, and I just don't see how we gonna get. I appreciate you, and I appreciate y'all making these comments. And this is something that I hope y'all do on y'all channels or talk about. What are we gonna do in terms of when everybody's gonna be getting reparations beside us? I mean, how that's gonna make us feel? I mean, I know we're not gonna be on the planet forever, but at some point, you gotta say enough is enough. You have to draw the line in the sand, and it's like, okay, what's a deal breaker for me? What is a deal breaker to make me just love my people beyond repair? beyond reproach. No matter what happens, I have to support them, and then I have to have enough stuff in place. I can't depend on nobody to do it for me to weed out these people in my community that are for destruction, and I got to be able to make that call and have other people in the community support that so we can grow again the way we supposed to. You know, and even though this government never will recognize us like they never did the Native American, they got a way out of it. I don't see us opening up casinos or anything. So anything we're gonna have to do is depend on each other. We need education in psychology. I agree. Emotional psychology. A lot of and our families are so dysfunctional because of slavery and because of all the stuff that's happened to us and having this pain body that we carry around so much generational trauma that sometimes it's hard to reach through to us. Even though we mean well, it's hard to deal with it. But at some point, we got to call ourselves to order because what's all we got? We are all we got. And again, this whole premise is everybody gonna get reparations but us who built this. From here on out, that has to be the conversation to me in every uh, righteous person's home. What we gonna do about the black people? Because I hear footsteps in the dark, and here they come. They coming. Are they gonna get there and get stuck? Can they push past the fear and say, okay, this is it? And that candidate, again, I'm gonna say it again. The reason why I support Marianne Williamson, I know she's not gonna be president, and that's not even my goal. The only person that's keeping the talk of reparations on the table is Marianne Wilson. What is going on here? She's the only one. Sean said I travel to Africa once a year, thinking about getting a one-way ticket my next trip. The system in America has been set up for us to fail or die. I feel like we're fighting a losing battle. I know. I know, Sean. I know. I know. I know that. I know that. And you know, it's a real hard call. I know I've thought about beliefs a few times. I'm like, let me just get out. But it seems like white supremacy is just so engulfed. And you look at some of the leadership that's in some of the countries in Africa, and they are such in bed with the white supremacists over here, that the people in Africa is living in some of the countries are living just a colonized life that we're living over here. I was just looking at some place where they were what was it? It wasn't Uganda, I don't think, but they were turning on the government because the government was charging them like it was all this money. It was just charging them. And while the kings and stuff live, of course, like they do over here, the same psycho virus that is over here is over there. Because white supremacy is like a snake, and the head of it reaches through all these countries like France. It's just a snake. You see, but 9/10 of the world's population is people of color. And at some point, since this control group is for nothing but greed um, and destruction, like they was when they first came down from the Caucasoid Mountains, bringing black plague and all kinds of diseases when they always messing up the environment. Then they got to go somewhere else, right? So if we don't get a grip on these people and they're already destroying the environment. And I shouldn't say these people. We need to get a hold to ourselves. Well, black folk don't really